Hey guys, welcome back. Don't mind the background, I'm still unpacking a little bit, but as you all know, we are at the very beginning of September, so as I like to do with a lot of videos at the beginning of the month, I like to reflect back on how my portfolio performed for the previous month, in this case for the month of August. So I'll talk about how much I potentially made and how that looks all time and year to date, what I look like for dividends, how that looks in comparison to the past, and what that potentially can mean in the future, and a little bit of what my outlook is for the coming month and for the rest of the year. And of course, before we get started, make sure you guys leave a comment below. Of course, if you want to, let me know, how did your portfolio perform for the month of August? Did you make a decent amount of money in dividends? Maybe you pay some bills? Definitely let me know. So the month of August was luckily a pretty good month for me. I ended up making $562.30, or a little over 3%. That takes my year to date to $1,740.95, or about 10%. All time, that puts me at a little over $6,800, which means I'm at a little over 56, almost 57%. That's something that's really amazing. Just lets me know that despite being somebody that only invests $30 every single week, I'm putting my money in the right things and keeping them in there. And I'm doing a lot of modifications. So this is just a really good sign of making the right decisions for the long term. And speaking of those right decisions, that involves buying additional stocks and ETFs and potentially doing sales. But for the month of August, I was pretty quiet when it comes to sales. And also when it comes to buys, I made a few transactions. Those transactions for August was buying a little over a share of Vici Properties at $32.89 a share, costing me a little over $35, and 1.4 shares of Realty Income at $59.72 per share and $83.98 altogether. I bought these two because I'm anticipating eventual interest rate drops, which would lower the cost of a lot of things, including borrowing money, which is really important for tenants that are leasing out property. And with Realty Income and Vici Properties, they are leasing out essential properties or very popular properties. Essential being like a Dollar Tree, a Dollar General, a Sam's Club, and very popular properties like a lot of the casinos and hotels along the Vegas Strip. So assuming borrowing becomes a lot cheaper, I expect that to have a positive impact on these two positions, hopefully resulting in the share prices going up. But we'll just have to wait and see. I received 16 dividend checks in August, and here are the companies that paid me. Starting with Verizon Wireless, they paid me $2.89 at the first of the month. Apple paid me $1.69. Delta Logistics paid me my largest check of the month at $7.85. Realty Income paid me $3.86. Costco paid me $1.87. Main Street Capital paid me $1.58, followed by Stag Industrial, which paid me 73 cents. Procter & Gamble paid me $1.24. AbbVie paid me $4.20. Ormal paid me 94 cents. Energy Transfer paid me $1.60. Charles Schwab paid me 55 cents. Williams-Sonoma paid me $1.72. SPHD paid me $1.08. QYLD paid me $2.76. And to round up the month of August, Starbucks paid me $2.95. That puts my monthly total for the month of August at $37.51, and the running total for the year ends up being at $266.02, with an average of $33.25 so far. These are some crazy numbers. I really love the fact that it's over $30. Again, $30 a week is what I invest, so if I can make over $30 in dividends every single month, that's essentially an extra week of investing. So I really enjoy seeing that. What I also enjoy seeing is how my numbers compare to this exact point last year. So in comparison to August of 2024, I actually made $5.55 more this August. The first 8 months of this year actually paid me $52.93 more than the first 8 months of last year. And my running average this year is $5.64 more than my running average of last year, which is amazing. And if you've been watching this channel, you'll know that that's one of the two motivational tactics that I have, being a low budget investor. And the other one is seeing what my potential is for the future. So one thing I like to do is to see how much money my portfolio could generate in dividends and how much it could be valued after 5, 10 to 15 years, only relying on reinvestments and not investing any more than $30 every single week. So this is what I came up with at this point. So using trackyourdividends.com, it shows me that after 5 years, my annual income and dividends would be about $555 per year, and my projected balance would be $29,673. 10 years from now, I'd be making $802 per year in dividends, and my projected balance would be $49,481. And 15 years from now, my annual income would be $1,145 per year, with a projected balance of $81,632. So as far as my outlook for next month, last year when it comes to dividends, I made about $29.03 in monthly dividends. I anticipate this September to be a pretty decent month as well. Maybe not as much as what I made in August, but hopefully a decent amount, hopefully more than what I made in 2024 of September. But I definitely want to focus more on the growth side of my portfolio. I still want to keep the trend, at least in this portfolio, of investing all into dividend paying stocks, or especially dividend growth stocks, or companies that have a history of increasing their dividend payout aside from actually just paying it consistently. But knowing I want to make that change means I have to understand I'm going to sacrifice my dividend yield for my entire portfolio, maybe a little bit of my annual dividend payouts at the very beginning at least. But with that, I'm trading off for investing in positions with some significant long-term growth. And that's something I want to take advantage of, being a young 33-year-old, so that by the time I retire, I have a decent amount more money, even more than what I'm projected at right now. One of the changes I'm considering making involve the ETFs that I'm holding. What I'm really looking at is making sure, or verifying how much overlap there is with the different ETFs that I'm holding. I want to make sure that there's no redundancy on what I'm investing into between those ETFs and maybe even an individual stock in that same portfolio, and maybe slim down a little bit. It may also give me some opportunities to invest into some other new ETFs that might be beneficial for the overall goal that I have. Maybe some ETFs like the ones that I share in this video, where I feel like they're super beneficial, especially for those with a low budget like myself. If you guys get some time, make sure you check out that video. But I appreciate you guys watching this video, and until next time, as always, take care.